thoroughly studied and respected, and I also took homosexuality and Christianity too, and like there were these different perspectives that my parents fostered in me as being a good person, and tolerance, and what the church practiced a lot about being tolerant, and but when I was going through them, it felt like these were these pillars up to ostracize individuals and kind of put Catholics into an elitist category. Like, Catholics don't even refer to themselves in my circles back in the day as like being Christian. It's like, no, dudes and dudettes, umbrella of Christianity. Catholicism is a portion of that umbrella. Just because we have all these different groups that have come about, it does not mean that we are separate from the group. And like, if we think about the umbrella of like monotheistic religion, like, yes, we're all believing in one God and want to be there. So, yeah. So I have a very tortured relationship with the church, and I like struggle a lot with it because I don't think I can ever say I'm not Catholic, but it's prevalent with my family that I don't go to church as frequently. And like, there is some dichotomy that's unspoken. So, anyway, I'm get some wine for that. Jesus supported that, so.
I will say, Catholics are like that.
Shane knows. I made those jokes to her too over lunch. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Well, I can go next. So I feel like I can very much say exactly what my relationship with the church is, because I like left Catholicism back in college, so I feel like I've been able to do the post-mortem and like kind of just like really evaluate like what my feelings are. I mean, I could write you a whole essay on this, so just as some background, so I was kind of raised in this almost sort of cultish version of Catholicism, where they were like, everything pre-Vatican II, Mass in Latin, women wear veils and like dresses, like women shouldn't go to college, like.
What was it called?
So it was the Society of St. Pius X. They actually, when we were in college, one of the bishops made news because of his comments about women shouldn't go to college, and I was like, those are my peeps. Those were my past tense.
I didn't even know that there were churches that did things pre-Vatican II.
Yeah, there's a
Latin Mass here in Palo Alto.
I mean, our group my family was a part of, they were less extreme in the sense that they did agree that the Pope was the Pope. But there were other people that like, since the Pope wasn't consecrated in like, like the medieval way or whatever, that they were like state of conscience, so like the see is vacant, like there is no Pope. Oh, wow. There's a lot of people who believe that there is no Pope, especially I'm sure with St. Pope Francis. Those people are like, he's the Antichrist.
Oh my god.
But I have no idea because I do not associate with any of those people anymore. But when I came to Notre Dame, I feel like it was good because I felt like I left Catholicism on very good terms with Catholicism, because I had found this whole new way of being and like relating to the church that I really loved, and obviously that still left, but I left on very good terms, I feel like. But the things that I liked, what was the first thing? I wanted to, I'll start with the one I can remember. So, even despite all of the terrible shittiness and like crazy sexism and racism and shit in this old group, the thing that I, like, honestly, like, thinking about having kids in the future that I can't really imagine not having is like, we did have such a community of like, all these families with a bajillion kids, and because it wasn't a traditional church really, like everybody would show up and like this, and like everybody was homeschooling their kids, so like this was their community for the week, and we would be at the church for like after mass for like 5 hours, like playing volleyball, playing soccer, like everybody would do their thing, and like I'm like, where would I have a community for my kids? Like especially like thinking about like here, like hopefully, I'm not having kids here, but like if I end up in a place like this, I'm like, this is a freaking terrible like place. Like the community is like all these moms like competing against each other, and like how many classes are your kids in? And
I like that
taking
you're
Mandarin. And I'm just like, that's like literally the opposite. Whereas like, you know, like that's like the opposite of what this group is like, and like that aspect, I'm just like, I don't know. I've had a lot of these thoughts about like how would I raise my kids not in a religious setting, because I feel like so many of my values came from there, and like even just being able to like sit still, because our masses, we had a priest.
Sit still.
his regular Sunday mass was often like 3 freaking hours.
Matt, you would die.
I'd be doing.
Like, okay, not regular. Regular was like 2 hours, but on
an
the
average, yeah.
But like Easter midnight mass, we got out of that baby at like 3 a.m. But then everybody would party till like 6 a.m. after mass.
Yeah. I can't even.
But
I
okay,
can't imagine. But
so the other thing I remember now, the other thing that I liked that I found at Notre Dame was like the social justice wing of Catholicism that I really like loved and appreciated. As far as the things that I like don't like, I mean, for me, the thing that was the undoing was like the church, like especially in the U.S. I feel like, because I feel like Catholics when they came to the U.S. felt like they had to compete with like the Baptists and evangelicals, and like went super crazy right wing in a way that the church globally is not necessarily. But like, at least that's my interpretation based on the things I know. But like, just the obsession with sexual mores, and the obsession with abortion, and the obsession with birth control, and like, I mean, like, this is actually what led me to leave, because I got in a fight with a boyfriend. I'm like, yeah, and I don't think I'm gonna go to the Hellfront hand job. I'm sorry. Like, no, not gonna go to the Hellfront hand job. Because he got mad. He's like, why are you going to community? You're going to hell. I'm like, if you truly believe you were gonna go to hell for this, why on earth would you do it? Like, that's the thing I couldn't bother. If you truly believe that if I die, I am going straight down hell, like, why would you on earth would you do something that you believe is like fundamentally sinful? And that was the thing that I just like was like, wait, whoa. And then obviously that's not the reason I left. There was a whole that wasn't the thing.
No, I won't make a joke because we're being recorded.
You can, like,
gotta edit this out.
I think that's a great band name. Hell for a hand job.
No.
But it's so true, and that's like where, like what I said I like about the Catholic Church is also like a huge like imbalance, or just like it's counterintuitive, because like the way that virginal being is like perpetuated on women in the church is like extremely.
I mean, I was taught that like it's better
difficult
to be killed than to have sex or be raped, or like anything like that. Where it was like all these martyrs that were like, "Oh, she died defending her virginity," and you're like,
what?
"The fuck why are we celebrating this?" Like, I was like, and especially because like considering experience that I have had, it was like, wait, did I do something wrong because I didn't like fight to the death or something like that? You know, like
and I've actually like, and I've had some conversations with people here about it too, like who have been involved in InterVarsity and are like a different denomination of Christianity too, and it's like even within their groups too, like it's so strict, and it's like this whole perspective of morality and like what we strive to be versus like in actuality how we are, and like still being forgiving and accepting, which completely the attitudes that one receives when approached in that way are completely against any doctrine that's emphasized and taught, and like that hypocrisy, like it really pisses me off.
I don't disagree. I think that but I do think that the ability, I struggle with this, like to hold things in tension, to be like, there are things that I believe and things that I totally disagree with in the Catholic Church. So